In this video, we're going to take a look at factorizing using all the different methods we've already looked at, but maybe one or two of them in the same question. So there's a mixture. There's a mixture of the different types of questions in one question. And let's take this question that came up a couple of years ago in the junior cert as our first example. We have a couple of terms up here, and below that we've got a three-term expression down here. So we have to factorize each of those separately. Okay, so let's do the top over here, and let's do the bottom one over here. So the bottom one was that pink or whatever color you'd call that, and the top one we have in yellow. So, right, let's do the top one first. What is it? It's 4e squared minus 9. Now, how many terms does it have? It has 1, 2, right? So if you're curious as to how to do this, or if you haven't looked at the videos yet, you should look at the videos already done on factorizing two terms. There's actually two videos for factorizing two terms. Those two. So let's try and find something that's in common. What's common? Is there a common number? No. Well, the only common number is 1. And is there a common letter? No. So taking out what's common, which was the first video, is not going to work. So instead we try and use the other method for factorizing two terms, and that's the difference of two squares. So what we have to do is we have to get the square root of the first one, square root of 4e squared. The square root of 4 is 2, so the roots would be 2e and 2e. And what's the square root of 9? Whoops, I'm giving you the answer there. The square root of 9 is, of course, 3. The two roots are 3 and 3. So we have to get our brackets and put in those answers. So remember, in the first two places in our two brackets, we put in the roots of the first term, which we figured out to be 2e and 2e. And then in the second part of each bracket, we put in the other two roots belonging to the second term. So we put in 3 and 3. And then because it's difference of two squares, remember we always use two different signs, so plus and a minus, or a minus and a plus. Either one is fine. Okay, so that's the top one done. Now let's do the bottom one. Let's take a look at this bottom one. It's 2e squared plus 3e minus 9. So how many terms are in this? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 terms in this one. So take a look at the video on how to factorize 3-term questions. And I'm going to plow on as though you already know how to do it. So I'm going to get my guide number. Remember, my guide number is the first number by the last number. So 2 by minus 9 gives me minus 18. That's my guide number. And now I'm going to get the factors of, I've got the minus 18 would be 1 by minus 18, or minus 1 by 18. Also 2 by minus 9, or minus 2 by 9. Also 3 by minus 6, or minus 3 by 6. 4, no. 5, no. 6, yes, but I already have it here. 7, no. 8, no. And 9, no. I've already got it here. So they're my factor pairs. Now I need to figure out which one of them will give me the middle number. 3. Can I get 3 from 1 and 18? Or minus 18? No, that'll give me minus 17. Minus 1 and 18? No, that'll give me 17. 2 minus 9, that's minus 7, so it's not that. Minus 2, 9, that's 7, it's not that. 3 minus 6, that's minus 3, not that. Minus 3 plus 6, that'll give me 3. So that's the pair I want to use. So I'm going to rewrite this equation using my factor pairs instead of this. So I'm going to say minus 3e plus 6e. And then of course the minus 9 is still there. Okay. Now I've got a group of 4 terms, there's a video up here on how to factorize that. I'm going to assume that you know how to do it and you've watched all the videos, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to break it up into two-term expressions. I'm going to factorize this first one. What's the common number? There is none. What's the common letter? E. What would E have to multiply to give me 2e squared? 2e. And what would E have to multiply by to give me minus 3e? You would need to multiply by minus 3. Okay, what's the common number? 3. So I'll leave this sign empty for a second. 3. What would 3 have to multiply by to give me 6e? It need to be 2e. Now, so far am I doing okay? Remember, this needs to be the same as this. And yeah, it's looking good so far. I just need to put in a minus 3. And would minus 3 be the right thing? 3 by minus 3, minus 9, yeah. Now just double check what sign we need. It needs to be a plus 6e, so that needs to be plus 3 by 2e. And yeah, that makes sense, because plus 3 by minus 3 gives me minus 9. So I've got my signs correct, and now I just need to do the very last step, which is get the things that are outside the brackets and put them into brackets of their own. So e plus 3, and then write that repeating bracket, just write it once. Okay, so now I've gotten my top written as this, and my bottom factorized as this. So now I can rejoin the two of them. I can rejoin them. So on top I've got 2e plus 3 and 2e minus 3 over, and on the bottom I've got this. These are my factors at the bottom. E plus 3 and 2e minus 3. Now at this stage, see if there's anything in common here. Is there anything on the bottom that's also on the top? And if you look, there is. There's a 2e minus 3 here and here. And what that means is you can cancel those. They go into each other once, okay? And put the number 1 there. So now, what you've got left is a 2e plus 3, that's this bit, over e plus 3. And that's the answer. So what you had to do there was you had to factorize each part separately. So I did the top over here, and then did the bottom here. And when I got the factors, then I remade that the original question, except I used the factors instead of these questions up here. So I used the factors, and then I cancelled anything that was common, and my answer is whatever is left. So you try and do now, pause the video and try and do this question. So 2x squared plus 4x, factorize that. It's going to be one of these methods. If you're not sure, take a look back on the other videos. And then the bottom one, it's a quadratic. It's 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. So factorize that, and then see if there's anything in common, and cancel the things that are in common. When you're finished, press play, and I'll work through the answer and see if you got it right. Okay, pause the video. Okay, I hope you were able to make an attempt at that. I'm going to proceed and do the correction. So let's take the top bit and let's write that down over here. That's 2x squared plus 4x. And then we'll do our bottom part, we'll do that over here. And that is 2x squared plus x minus 6. I always like to put a number in there, so I always like to put the 1 in. It makes it easier later on. Right, let's factorize this one over here. Okay, let's take out what's common. You always start with that method and see if it works. So, is there a common number? Yes, there is. It's 2. 2 will go into both of those numbers. And is there a common letter? Yes, there is. It's x. So if you're not sure now, remember what I'm doing, take a look at the video over here for factorizing two terms. Now, 2x by what gives me 2x squared? Well, x, isn't it? 2x by x gives me 2x squared. And now 2x by what would give me 4x? Well, it would be plus 2, wouldn't it? Because 2x by plus 2 gives me 4x. Now over here, it's 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to need to use the factorizing 3 terms method. So I'm going to need to get my guide number, 2 by minus 6. I'll do this here for a bit of space. So 2 times minus 6 is minus 12. So there's my guide number. Now let's get the factors of that guide number. Well, 1 by, don't forget it's a minus 12, so 1 by minus 12 and minus 1 by 12. 2 by minus 6 and minus 2 by 6. They'll all give me minus 12, so that's why I'm doing this. Minus 3 by 4 or 3 by minus 4. And is there anything else? No, they're the factors of minus 12. So now which one of these factors will give me the middle number of 1? Let's see. 1 minus 12, that's minus 11. It's not that. Minus 1, 12 is not that. 2 minus 6, that ends up as minus 4. Not that. Minus 2, 6, that's 4. Not that. Minus 3 plus 4. Here we go. This is it. That gives me 1, doesn't it? It gives me plus 1. 3 minus 4 would give me minus 1, so it's not that one. Okay, so I'm going to use these two numbers here. So up here, I'm going to rewrite this as 2x squared minus 3x plus 4x minus 6. So the plus 1 is no more, and instead of that, we have this. That's what we're going to use instead. Again, if you're not sure what I'm doing, take a look at the video back here on how to factorize 3 terms. Okay, let's factorize these two, and then we'll factorize these two. What's in common here? There's no common number, but there's a common letter, and it's x. Now, x by what will give me 2x squared? Well, 2x. And x by what will give me minus 3x? Minus 3. Now let's factorize these two. What's common? Well, there's a common number, isn't there? There's a number that will go into both 4 and 6. It is 2. 2 by what gives me 4x? 2x. And 2 by what gives me minus 3? Minus 3. Now I know I'm doing well because I have the same thing in both of these brackets. And don't forget our sign. That's going to need to be a plus, isn't it? Because plus 2 by 2x will give me the plus 4x. And plus 2 by minus 3 will give me the minus 6. So I have all my signs in the right order. So now I need to get what's outside the two brackets. That's an x plus 2. And put them into a bracket. And then the bracket that repeats itself, this green one, I just write that once. 2x minus 3. Okay, so that's the factors of that one done. But now I've got to remake the fraction. So top, I'm no longer going to use 2x squared plus 4x. I'm going to use this, my factors over here, which would be 2x by x plus 2 over, now I'm going to rub some of this out, it's a bit messy, no it's okay, I'll leave it there, over my factors here of the bottom one, remember, the bottom one, these are the factors of that, so that's what I'm going to use now, x plus 2 and 2x minus 3, I just wrote that there, here it is there. Okay, now I look to see is there anything in common. Yes, there is. There's an x plus 2 and an x plus 2. That's gone. Now, some people think, oh, there's a 2x and there's a 2x, so I can cancel them. No, you can't. It has to be exactly the same things. That 2x, that needs to be a 2x minus 3 for you to be able to cancel it. And it isn't. It's just 2x, so you have to leave it as it is. So the answer, what's left? You're left with this 2x on top. Over, you're left with 2x minus 3 on the bottom. If you got that, very well done.